Even if you're not particularly fond of musicals, you've probably seen Grease. After all, it's known for being one of the most successful musical films of all time. Unfortunately, Olivia Newton-John, the actress who played Sandy in the film, passed away after losing her battle to cancer recently. Let's look at this and more in this video. First, let's look at the tragic death of the star. Olivia was diagnosed with breast cancer over 3 decades ago and fought very bravely against it. The news of her death came on the 8th of August, and she was in her ranch in California, surrounded by her friends and family when it happened. The singer and actress was diagnosed with breast cancer all the way back in 1992 and always kept her journey very public, letting everyone know how she was doing. This time, her cancer relapsed for the 3rd time, and it was pretty bad. She was always super vocal about the whole thing and even opened a cancer research institute and hospital called the Olivia Newton-John Cancer Research Institute. Her Grease co-star John Travolta was also extremely committed to this cause and stood alongside Olivia the whole time. Her husband, John Easterling, also contributed quite a lot to cancer research. Next, a small look at her struggle with cancer. Cancer wasn't a stranger to Olivia, considering the fact that her dad had it too. What's crazy is that she even talked about how the week that her dad died was the same week that she got diagnosed. Even though she fought against the fatal disease for 30 years, she never let it weigh her down. Olivia Newton-John is definitely going to be remembered as someone who fought against the disease bravely, but for other reasons too. She always very strongly advocated building a life outside of the disease that she and many others across the world struggle with. She underwent a lot of treatments for breast cancer, including but not limited to a partial mastectomy, chemotherapy, and breast reconstruction. In 2020, she was facing stage 4 of breast cancer and retired quietly to her Southern California ranch where she passed away. Throughout her life, though, she always promoted the use of herbal and more natural treatment methods for cancer, which is what her research institutes focused on as well. Olivia Newton-John always had a positive outlook on life and tried to be the light in other people's lives too, which is just so admirable. She said that plants and herbs helped her become as strong as she was and wanted more people to take alternative methods. No matter what she was going through while fighting cancer, she always tried to give strength to other people. In one interview, she said that she lives beyond her disease and that "I love beyond it, I sing beyond it, and I want that for everybody." She'll always be a source of light and guidance for not just people battling cancer, but everyone else too. Now, let's visit her legacy. Olivia Newton-John was the whole package: a singer, actress, and even a philanthropist. She sold millions of records worldwide, and she's also known as one of the best country singers ever. Before all this, though, she was just an ordinary girl who was catapulted into the world of fame after playing Sandy in Grease. This role for her was just simply iconic, to say the least. When the movie was released in 1978, it was the highest-grossing film in the box office at the time. The movie also spawned 3 hit singles that Newton-John sang with her co-star John Travolta. "You're the One That I Want" is still a must for most karaoke nights, even today. At the time, young Olivia Newton-John wouldn't even have realized the impact that the movie was going to have, and that it would be iconic for so long. Finally, the world reacts to Olivia Newton-John's death. From everything that we just talked about, you can probably tell that Olivia was nothing less than iconic and legendary. She was not just a great actress and musician, but someone who a lot of people looked up to as well. One of her co-stars in Grease, Stockard Channing, said she's never seen a lovelier human being than her. She wasn't the only person to speak well of her late co-star, though. The singer Rod Stewart described her as the perfect lady, and there's no doubt that she was. Literally everyone that she interacted with and was friends with looked up to her. People in the industry, as well as those who weren't a part of it, all saw her as a role model. Other people also paid tribute to Olivia Newton-John, such as Dionne Warwick and Kylie Minogue. Dionne said that Olivia was one of the nicest people that she'd ever worked with, and Kylie said she was a great inspiration to her. Oprah Winfrey also said that her positivity was just infectious and that Olivia will be missed very dearly. You just can't ignore the huge impact that this amazing woman had on people's lives. Of course, we can't not mention John Travolta's tribute. The main lead with her in Grease also expressed his most heartfelt condolences after her death through an Instagram post. He ended it by saying, "You're Danny, you're John," which is quite possibly the sweetest and most heartbreaking thing we've heard about today. Even the film's director said that Olivia was just like everyone would think she'd be, full of love and positivity for everyone. We can only hope that she's resting easy because she's definitely so dearly loved and remembered in this world. Now, let's move on to some other news. First up, Brad Pitt keeps a surprising list. Brad Pitt is definitely one of the most talented and handsome actors of his his time. Recently, his Bullet Train co-star Aaron Taylor Johnson dished on how Pitt keeps a list of the actors that he would never work with again. Of course, he also talked about how humble Brad is in an interview and how much he looks up to him. Apparently, Brad Pitt has a list of actors that he loves and would want to work with again, which is the good list. But he also has a bad list. Spoiler alert, it has the names of actors he would never want to work with again. According to Aaron, this isn't something that only Brad does though. A lot of actors have this list. But still, we can't help but wonder whose names are on Brad's good and bad list. Who do you think is on the two list? Let us know. Pitt's latest movie just came out and it's doing pretty well. We can't wait to see what's next for the legendary actor. Next, some more chaos in Hollywood, this time with Johnny Depp. If you've been on the internet even for a few minutes anytime in the past few weeks, you've probably heard about the verdict of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case. All the hearings were live streamed and some superfans even stood outside the courthouse just to show their support for Johnny Depp. However, even though the verdict for the defamation trial was released a while ago, in Depp's favor if you didn't already know, there's a lot of new information still coming out. In celebration of winning the case, Depp posted a long note on his Instagram, and many of Hollywood's biggest names started to show their support by liking it. This was a pretty big deal, considering the whole trial was extremely controversial and many celebrities didn't even think to speak on it. Soon, there was an actual list available online which had the names of all the stars in Hollywood who liked Depp's post. However, more than a month after the verdict was announced, these stars have started to unlike Depp's post. Bella Hadid, Elle Fanning, Joey King, Orlando Bloom, and Robert Downey Jr. are just a few of them who unliked the post. All this is probably because some unsealed documents that weren't presented in court were just released. We can't get into all of that right now, but it looks like people are switching sides very quickly and starting to believe Heard's story more. Let's see how this pans out in the future. Finally, people are not happy with James Franco's latest casting. Apparently, Franco is going to be cast as Fidel Castro in a movie. If you don't know, Castro was a Cuban revolutionary and is a pretty huge part of their history. That's exactly why a lot of Latino actors are not happy with his casting, cause Franco is Caucasian. John Leguizamo, who recently voiced Bruno in the musical Encanto, took to Instagram to share his views and said that it definitely should have gone to a Latin actor, purely out of respect to Fidel Castro. A lot of people also agree with this, and you can't blame them. Leguizamo even went as far as to say that people should boycott Hollywood. Other actors like Jeff Torres and Jess Darrow also spoke out against this casting. Do you think it's fair for Franco to be given this role? That's a wrap for this video. What was your favorite tribute to Olivia Newton-John? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.